I just want people to keep the same energy. If you hated Hellblade 1, most likely you would hate Hellblade 2. But if you loved Hellblade 1, you would think people would love Hellblade 2, considering Hellblade 2 is similar to Hellblade 1, it's just better in every way. Now, I know people are going to say, this is subjective, Dirt. It's everybody's opinion. And yes, that's true. But the opinion of a person, myself, that finished Hellblade 1, and so far it's like 3 hours into Hellblade 2, man, Hellblade 2 is better in every way. Some of the same things that the games have done, like the walking, yes, it's a lot of walking in Hellblade 1 and Hellblade 2. The combat is much better in Hellblade 2. It's much more brutal to me. I love it. The puzzles are similar. So if you loved Hellblade 1, you would think a person would like Hellblade 2 also. But that's not what's been going on in this community. Look, I don't like to do the Xbox tax or, you know, the media bias. I try not to do that, but damn, man. Look at this. These websites have reviewed Hellblade 1 in the past. You notice all of the reviews are green. Then these same websites reviewed Hellblade 2. And look at this. Like, is it because Hellblade now is an Xbox owned IP? I mean, I'm trying not to do the console bias or the media bias stuff. I'm trying not to do that, but what the hell? How do you go from 95 to 45 game critics? 95 to 45? How do you go from 80 to 63 Washington Post? How do you go from 90 to 70 worth playing? What the hell is going on, bro? This is crazy. So Hellblade 2 is currently sitting at an 82 Metacritic. And look, man, I've been playing the game and I've been awed, not just by the graphics, but just what's going on in the game. I'm loving the game. I'm going to finish playing it after I'm done with this video. But I'm loving Hellblade 2 right now. People said they want Xbox to make games like this. People made fun of Sea of Thieves last generation. Look at the graphics on Sea of Thieves. Look at the character model. Sea of Thieves look like shit. People made fun of games like State of Decay too. They said Xbox is not capable of making a third-person action-adventure deep narrative game with great graphics. Photorealistic graphics. That's what they said, right? Here is Hellblade, and there they are bashing the shit out of it. It's funny the way it goes. Everybody's favorite Dreamcast guy, he said Hellblade 2 is finally here, but sadly it is really not good. Let's talk about the boring puzzles, empty world, 5-hour runtime, and simple combat. Now listen, some of his complaints, boring puzzles. Okay, the same damn puzzles that was in part 1. The same puzzles that was in part 1. He says empty world. Part 1 was even more empty than part 2. 5-hour runtime. It's about the same length as it was for part 1. So with all of these complaints, why is it that he gave part 1 a 9.5?
But let's go to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice a 9.5 out of 10. If you enjoy stuff like God of War or narrative-heavy adventures like Uncharted, this is seriously a must-buy. Sit down, beat it in an afternoon, and then just let it sink in. Personally, I'm still marveling at all the raw humanity they managed to put into Senua's struggle.
Shut the fuck up.
Isn't it funny? Part 1 was a PlayStation exclusive initially. He gave that one a 9.5. But Hellblade 2, which is more of the same, he gave it a 4 out of 10. Come on, Dreamcast guy. You know you're full of shit. You're always full of shit. That's my complaint. Listen, like I said, if you hated Hellblade 1, you will probably hate Hellblade 2. But I want to call out these frauds that loved Hellblade 1, but all of a sudden they despise Hellblade 2. Why? That's the question. Why?
Why? I want to know why.
This flip-flopping piece of trash, Peter Ovio, He said, Senua Saga Hellblade 2 is yet another underwhelming game from Xbox Game Studios under Matt Booty. Not Redfall bad, but reviews paint it as an underwhelming game. Then he says, Microsoft ain't getting my $50 for this. So the Black Viking found an old tweet when he was pro Xbox, Team Xbox, where he was talking about something that VGC posted about Hellblade. And he said, this is how they set Starfield up. So if Hellblade 2 scores 80, 85 Metacritic, they can say it's not good enough. Wow. So the Black Viking called him out like, yo, man, you are a hypocrite. You're a piece of trash. And look how this guy responded. He said, the good old days used to have feel in my mouth.
Let me see your day. Let me see your day. Oh.
What the hell is going on with these people? Listen, man, to admit that on social media, for everybody to screenshot and for guys like me to make a video talking about your bum ass, you should be ashamed of yourself. Listen, I like Phil Spencer. I think he's done a lot of good things for the Xbox brand, but I will admit he's not perfect. He's not flawless. And I definitely don't feel the same way about Phil Spencer. Oh my God, what is wrong with these people, man? Blessing says, Hellblade 1 was one of my favorite games of the generation. Hellblade 2 was super disappointing to the point I find myself wondering why it even has gameplay if the combat is going to be that dull and if the puzzles are going to basically solve themselves. Now, let me say this again, man. This is this guy's opinion. But for the life of me, I mean, it's something that's not sitting right with me. If you loved Hellblade 1, if you loved Hellblade 1, Hellblade 1 was a walking simulator. It had great graphics for the time. It had those looking puzzles. The combat, while basic, if you like the combat in the first one, okay, you like the combat in the first one. Hellblade 1, Senua wasn't interacting with anybody besides the voices in her head. Hellblade 2, the graphics are absolutely incredible. It's still a walking simulator. It still has those looking puzzles. This time, Senua is interacting with other people. The combat, I believe, is better in every way. Now, how do you love the first one but hate the second one? I'm still confused by that. How do you love Spider-Man 2018 but all of a sudden hate Spider-Man 2? No, they love Spider-Man 2 even though it was more of the same. Spider-Man 2018, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2 was more of the same. But guess what? They loved it. The scores kept on going up and going up. I'm just not understanding it. This chick named Jessica Cogswell from GameSpot, she reviewed Hellblade 1 in 2017 and she gave it an 80. And she also put out a tweet and said, I just finished Hellblade. I cannot stress enough how important and well done this game is. She also reviewed Hellblade 2 in 2024 and she gave it a 60.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Is it because it's an Xbox first party game now? Is that what the problem is? I don't get it. Listen, I love God of War 2018. God of War Ragnarok was more the same. I thought it was okay. I didn't like it as much as 2018, but it was still a pretty good game. So that's my opinion. But it was more of the same. Now these people, they're not saying, yo, Hellblade 2, I like part 1 better. They're absolutely saying the game goes from an 80 to a 60. Other websites, like the game went from a 9.5 to a 4.5, a 95 to a 45. Make that make sense, bro. It's not making sense. Not at all. So at the end of the day, man, Xbox, the Xbox tax, we all know is a real thing. I try not to dwell on it, but damn, what else can be said? So far, I am absolutely enjoying the shit out of Hellblade. You know, when it comes to Xbox games getting bashed, part of me understood Redfall getting the bad scores. Even though I finished Redfall and I liked Redfall, I would be the first to admit that was not Arcane Austin's best game. That was not their best effort. So I kind of understood the bad review scores, you know, because the game was buggy, you know, the game had issues. But Hellblade 2, from what I've been playing, I am in absolute awe playing this game. The combat to me is awesome. The kills are brutal. I'm like, wow, you giving this game a 4.5? If you, so let me say this one more time. If you dislike the first one, if you hated the first Hellblade, I guess I will understand you not liking Hellblade 2 because it is more of the same, just better. But for somebody to love part 1 and all of a sudden hate part 2, it just makes no damn sense. None at all. So look, guys, I gotta go. It almost seemed like these review scores were premeditated. Guys like Dreamcast guy, you know he was going to give this game a shitty review score. Any Xbox first party game, he will give a shitty review score. Remember how he destroyed Starfield, which was Xbox's last huge first party title? He killed it before the game released. So it is what it is, man, but I gotta go. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you happen to stumble across my channel, you think I'm decent enough, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And if you subscribe, please hit that notification bell to know when my black ass is doing some new content, baby. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. Shit. Damn, man.